Hello and welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is the retro review for WrestleMania 2. I, of course, am Patrick Young. This guy to my right is my co-host, Joe Veneta.
WrestleMania 2 took place on April 7th, 1986. Location, the National Veterans Memorial Coliseum in New York City, or Long Island. Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, Illinois, and Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena in Los Angeles, California. Attendances 16,585 for New York, measly 9,000 in Chicago, and 14,500 in Los Angeles, total 40,085. Commentators in New York, Vince McMahon and Susan St. James.
Some actress at the time.
Chicago, Gene Okerlund, Girl Monsoon, and Kathy Lee Crosby.
Also some actress, but also the ex-wife of quarterback Joe Theismann.
In Los Angeles, Lori Alfred Hayes, Justin Ventura, and Elvis. Elvira.
Some scantily clad vampire chick.
Not Elvis, that's what I was going to say.
No, not a fat Tennessean.
This is basically 3 miniature shows combined into one big card.
No, say it right. It's 3 miniature house shows combined for one WrestleMania.
Each city will have its live action, and then they will get to watch the shows from the other cities. It's not the best idea in the world.
Some would say it's a terrible idea.
But there's only so much they can do with the position they're in. So just let's get to it. Vince McMahon is in New York to welcome us to the show and introduce Ray Charles to sing America the Beautiful. As will become the custom, various images of American landscapes, military, and run-of-the-mill citizens, like you and me, are compromised.
America!
He did one of the better, amazing renditions of the song. That and the fans give him the ovation he deserves, and then that's the end of the show. So see you for our next pay-per-view.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some will argue that was the best part of the show.
It probably was.
We're not saying the show is bad, we're just saying it's different.
I'm actually going to disagree with that statement.
It is different.
It is different, yes. But it's also bad.
Gene Okerlund's in Chicago to talk about Battle Royal. He mentions it. And then throws it to the next area. Ryan Piper is ready for his boxing match and his trainer Lou Duva, who trained names such as Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. See, I did my research showing the celebrities.
Huh.
You were worried about who they were married to.
Well, no, that was literally all I could pull up for Kathy Lee Crosby or whatever the fuck her name is.
Lou Duva is I'm not sure how to pronounce his name right. Lou Duva, let's go with that, is in his corner, Piper's corner. Piper says he'll quit everything from wrestling to tiddlywinks to dating girls, and Mr. T can knock him out. He won't quit Bob Backlund. He won't quit Bob Orton, of course. However, even if Mr. T knocks him out, he'll never, and I quote, shave his head like an Indian and paint himself black.
Well, one of those things he doesn't do.
Right. He doesn't shave his head like an Indian. In 4 years, he paints himself black. Half black. Up first, the Magnificent Morocco versus Paul Orndorff. It's the most we've ever talked about Paul Orndorff in 1 week. Morocco is a heel technician who was a decent hand in the ring. You got enough information about us about Paul Orndorff. So, we'll give you a background on Morocco. We all know who he is. This is fallout from last year. As Orndorff took the full main event, and Piper sent Morocco to get some revenge. They trace on Star and the crowd's already white hot. Orndorff is nice enough to make a slight eyes gesture at Morocco's manager, Mr. Fuji.
Yep. 1980s racism for you.
Orndorff takes him down good as Susan St. James, an actress. That's what she says.
Yeah.
And stay with this on commentary. She was staying with it.
Yeah.
But clearly had
you gotta give it to her. She was interested in what she was saying.
She was staying with it, but clearly had almost no idea who these people are.
Or what was going on.
Right. Paul cranks on the arm and out of nowhere Morocco starts sweating quite a bit. I'm not sure if you know it. Okay. We hit a wrist lock with St. James. With St. James calls an ancient Chinese technique.
Yeah. Well,
call that? At least she sounds happy to be here. So I can excuse some of her bad lines. The reverse log is an ancient Chinese technique.
Yep.
I'm not sure how she knows about that. Morocco gets a right hand and they brawl on the floor for a double count out. At 4:10, the fans loudly swear at the result.
Yeah, they chanted bullshit. And funny enough, most of them were probably kids, so. Yeah, this match sucked. This match sucked, and it had a very, very awful finish.
Yeah.
For an opener WrestleMania.
Yeah, this had time to go nowhere. And I have no idea who thought this was the right way to open this show. I mean, it's WrestleMania. It's okay to actually have a full here. Instead of trying to sell something for later. The match wasn't even good. And that's not how you want to set the tone for one of the big shows of the year. F. Mr. T says he's fighting for his friend, the Haiti kid, whose hair was cut by Piper at Orton. Fakes the announcement, double count out, drowns out a lot of his words, by the way. Eric Hodel, Randy Savage versus George Steele. Steele, a crazy bull man, for those who don't know him, with an incredibly hairy body.
Yep. You see turnbuckles, too.
Yes, is challenging, and is totally in love with Savage's manager, Elizabeth. Savage debuted last year, and has taken the company by storm, including taking Eric Hodel from Tio Santana earlier in the year. Randy goes to the floor to start before running down from Steele's waving arms. He runs again, and we're waiting on the first contact nearly a minute in. Savage is a face on this time, though, and George bites his leg as the champion tries to get back inside. Back in, Steele looks at Elizabeth, allows Savage to hit him in the back and gets two off a high cross body. That's not a move you'll have to see from Savage, by the way. High cross body. Steele throws in a force, so the champ curls on the ring, comes around to the other side for a knee to George's back. That time with George actually bites Savage's arm and takes over again. Randy bails to the floor and finds a bouquet of flowers, but George shoves them in his face. This was a really uneven comedy match so far.
Yeah.
And it gets even worse. It still goes to the turnbuckle, but opposite shoves the stuff in Savage's face instead. Still goes into Elizabeth at ringside, allows Randy to accidentally favor him. Back in, and the top rope elbow gets two. That's very, very weird kicked out, I believe. But it doesn't matter as Savage rolls him up and throws his feet on the ropes to retain a 7-0.
Yeah, not a great match by any standards. However, I'm going to be kind of sort of nicer to this match because of what it set up for the next WrestleMania.
What the heck was that? No, I'm me drinking. I knew Steele had been feuding with Savage a long time, but I thought this is the best they could do for a major match. I thought it was a total disaster here with the comedy not working. And Savage just coming back and grabbing one end. Savage win wasn't a idea, but he could have cut a lot of the goofiness out to make for a better or at least less bad match.
Gave it a D-.
F.
And you missed.
Yes. George just another turnbuckle.
Just because I don't litter.
And chases the referee off. Big John Studd and somebody, NFL player Bill Fralick.
Fralick, I think it was.
Told tragedy for the WWF versus NFL Battle Royal in Chicago. The announcer Savage in New York drowns out the yelling. McMahon and St. James talk about the next match. Because it's a long story history. George Wells versus Jake Roberts. Roberts is an all-newcomer, and this is the high point of Wells' career. George grabs a quick back.
It may be the only moment of Wells' career.
George grabs a quick backdrop to start, and Jake can barely stand up. They head outside, notice Jake sliding out like a snake. No, it's a nice touch here. Mm-hmm. For more punishment to Jake, followed by a nice flying shoulder from George. He was apparently an ex-pro football player.
Yeah.
I'm not getting into details. Back inside, Wells knocks him into the ropes, bobs on the cover. A good-looking power slam gets to Jake, but he comes out with a thumb to the eye. Jake slides to the floor and just George to chase him back inside. Sound DDT for the pin at 3:08.
Yeah, this was a bad match too. It was pretty much a jobber match in the first hour of WrestleMania. So there you go then.
This is probably the most where the moves were best executed so far match, believe it or not.
Probably, yeah.
This is probably the most executed match of the night so far. And it's just a step above a regular TV smash. Jake was clearly going to be self-interested long term, but he was still establishing himself at this point. Wells could have been any given warm body here, and that's still a normal spot to have on these early WrestleManias. Jake wraps the stake around Wells post-match, making Wells foam at the mouth. We recap Mr. T versus Ryan Piper, which started up again after Mr. T won a boxing match on Saturday night's main event. Piper won to fight him next to Bob Orton and how Piper beat him down said. Out in Los Angeles, Hulk Hogan is ready for King Kong Monday in a cage because he doesn't like people who take shortcuts. This has been all over the place. So far.
I'm pretty sure this show is literally booked by 3 different people in each city.
Yes.
Like, here's your matches. There's a vague thing of how to go about things. But yeah, it's pretty much up to you about how those matches go down.
We introduced the celebrity to the boxing match. Comedian Joan Rivers is guest ring announcer, not highest profile celebrity here.
Yep.
And introduces NBA star Darryl Dawkins, singer Cab Calloway, and Wargate participant G. Gorley. Herbert, a character in Burger King commercials at the time, is guest timekeeper.
Yeah.
There are no words to describe the drop from Cyndi Lauper, Muhammad Ali, Liberace, and Billy Martin to this.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, but it could get worse.
Oh, it does. This is the high profile.
And it does get worse.
This is the high profile celebrities of the night. Mr. T versus Ryan Piper boxing match. Piper has Lou Duva as his trainer, and Mr. T has Joe Frazier. Oh, I heard him. They circle each other. To start with Mr. T hiding behind his gloves and bobbing away from Piper's punches, their effort keeps having to break up their brawls against the ropes, and not a lot has happened so far. Both guys get a few quick flirts before the first round wraps up. Round 2 begins with Mr. T claiming that Piper has a bunch of grease on his face. Mr. T gets in the corner and hammers away. These are clearly fake punches, since both guys will be knocked out otherwise. Piper gets this to Hay Rice in the corner, actually knocks him down to a big cheer from the crowd. Even more bombs have Mr. T in trouble as the round ends. Between rounds, Orton throws War Mr. T in the corner because he's a villain like that. Mr. T starts to round well as he basically shoves Piper down in the corner with some punches thrown in his bonuses. Rise up at 8, so they shove each other, followed by a big left that clearly barely made contact, but knocks Piper all the way to the floor anyway. Back up, and the round ends with little else happening. Piper throws his stool at Mr. T. To start round 4, and they stand there train bombs for a bit. Piper starts to get embarrassed, including a huge right hand that knocks out Mr. T's mouthpiece. Mr. T is the same as St. James wants this to stop. As do the fans, they all still cheer for Piper. When nothing else working, Piper slays Mr. T down, and it's a DQ because, of course, it is.
Yeah. Terrible idea. Just awful. This shit went 4 rounds. None of it being remotely interesting. If you were actually legitimately going for a boxing match, the punches weren't anywhere near close to actually hitting each other.
Except for when Piper starts shooting.
And, you know, for a wrestling show, why would you have a boxing match? It ended up just being a boring thing all around.
As straight as the punches clear were, there were some good shots thrown into by Piper. Though when he was snapping on Mr. T.
Yeah.
When he started breaking kayfabe, I would think. Because those two hate each other back then.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, though, I'll take this, though, over Mr. T trying to wrestle. Because he only did a airplane spin in the one match.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Because that could have been an even bigger disaster since he was just by himself with Piper. This was your standard boxing match on a wrestling show, which just sounds weird. And that's all they could have done here. F. Also, Chicago. The ring looks much smaller here. In Chicago. Women's title. Yeah. Fabulous Moolah versus Velvet McIntyre. Moolah is defending. McIntyre is an Irish wrestler who was one of the more popular women in the divisions in the East. Moolah here drives around the start, but McIntyre comes back with some one-footed drop kicks. Velvet misses a Miller splashdown. Moolah gets the pin in 59 seconds.
Woman's Evolution.
It's not entirely clear what it's ended so fast, but I think Velvet's top might have snapped on the landing. You can definitely see Velvet adjust her top, which looks very loose. She gets out of the ring very quickly as well.
F. I'm sorry, not graded.
Up next, Nikolai Volkov versus Corporal Kershaw. This is a flag match, meaning the winner gets to wave his country's flag. Kershaw is considered one of wrestling's all-time toughest guys, apparently. And will wind up wrestling Japan under the name Leatherface. Ever hear of him?
Yeah.
Oh?
Because I believe that's actually a horror movie villain.
That's what I heard.
I think it was probably one of those gimmicks where Japan just took from movies. Because I know they had it with Jason and Michael Myers and all that stuff.
Volkov first with the 4 stars and posted the Corporal before biting Starhead. Back in and Kershaw hammers away with the ring being very loud for some reason in Chicago. Was it?
Yeah, it was.
It was also, because I watched Wrestling on the Network, the Wrestling Classic. It was also in this arena. The ring was very loud then too.
Maybe Chicago's just loud.
They weren't this time.
No.
They are now.
Yeah.
Where was it? Yeah, WrestleMania. The referee goes down. With the distraction, Volkov's manager Freddie Blassie throws in his cane, only to have Kershaw and somebody knock Volkov out for the pin at 135.
Yeah. That was a match that happened.
Gene Okerlund does the ring introductions for the Battle Royal. This match has its own celebrities. With Clara Peller.
Yeah.
We all know who she is, don't you?
No.
She started in Wendy's ads back then.
Oh, she was the Where's the Beef lady.
Right. As timekeeper, as Chicago Bears legend Dick Butkus, and Dallas Cowboy Too Tall Jones as guest referees.
And Where's the Beef lady? She had a microphone and I think she was supposed to say something. But she ended up just swinging around. They're just being old as dirt.
Battle Royal.
Oh, now I'm wondering if Ronald McDonald's going to be in California in the 3rd hour. Because they had Wendy's and they had Burger King. Might as well have Ronald McDonald in California.
Battle Royal. This is the WWF guys. Pedro Morales, Tony Atlas, Ted Arcade, Dave Spivey, Hillbilly Jim, King Tonga, Iron Sheik, B. Brian Blair, Jim Brunzell, John Studd, Bret Hart, Jim Neidhart, Bruno Sammartino, and Andre Giant. Think about that. Bruno Sammartino's only WrestleMania match.
Yeah. And it had to be this.
It's like Alondra Blaze's return. NFL. Jimbo Covert, Harvey Martin, Ernie Holmes, Bill Fralick, Russ Francis, and William Perry, being the only famous one that you would know. In light of her own. I'm not going to bother this off for most of these wrestlers are when they get on me because most of them aren't going to be a thinker. As you can see, the NFL players are very outnumbered. By the way. Ernie Ladd, a former football star, and future WWE Hall of Famer, joins commentary, and probably a smart move. It's a wild world of stars, ultimate case, and Battle Royal Covert sees Perry from elimination, but is played on with King Tonga a few seconds later. Francis thinks it's a good idea going to Andre, only barely slides back in from the apron. Bruno dumps Holmes out as Andre versus Studd to a nice reaction. Someone eliminates Brunzell, literally. And the ring is starting to get cleaned. And I'll bet Perry tosses Atlas to a big pop. And then there's a fight with Studd. Morales and Martin go out at the same time. And they're going to fight ringside. Arcade's out and Spivey's going a few seconds later. There goes somebody, Jim and Blair, followed by Frolic. Literally, I'll give you a word elimination. Yeah. Sammartino throws out the Sheik, and we're down to Andre Francis. Not Andre Francis, Andre the Giant. Somebody named Francis. Studd, Sammartino, Hart, Neidhart, and Perry. Things come out, slow down to show messages, elimination. Studd tosses Bruno, and actually puts Andre down the corner. Perry explodes at the Hart Foundation and knocks them out to the apron. The fans are all excited, but Perry charges his son his elbow and gets tossed out. Perry orders a handshake, but Sucker stun in by pulling him out to the floor to get the people going, goal over again. Francis tries to fight the Harts by himself, but he's a headbutt from Andre. A double dropkick ties Andre up in the ropes, and Francis is usually tossed out. So, it's Andre, Neidhart, and Hart, and I don't see this going well for the normal size guys. Andre kicks both of them in the corner, grabs Neidhart by a beer, kicks him in the face, pulls him out. Britt tries to come in with the top and gets tossed out with V's to give Andre the win at 9:03.
Yeah, it's the Battle Royal.
The final three were the best part.
Yeah, the final three was the best part. Pretty much less than half the guys in the Battle Royal were, in fact, people who never actually worked a match in their life. So there was just a lot of punching, kicking, and grabbing. Kind of like a wrestling orgy, if you will.
Now let's just sit here, and they made no secret of the fact that Andre was the obvious winner. The full parts are really just a novelty, so you can have a Battle Royal without looking like it was easy way to get people on the card. Like they do nowadays.
Yeah.
They kept it short and to the point, which helps it out quite a bit. Perry got the crowd going, and Andre win was a right call, so no one's hurt here.
It still sucked F.
Back in New York, because we're all over the place, Piper says Mr. T and William Perry are both cheaters. Piper denies cheating by shoving the referee. Covert, one of the football players, says he got cheated when someone jumped him from behind. Iron Sheik says he proved wrestling is tougher than football.
Yep.
We got the end of the Battle Royal tag team titles. British Bulldogs versus Dream Team. The Dream Team, for those of you who don't know, are Bruce, Big Cake, and Great Valentine. Are defending the Bulldogs are Davey Boy Smith, also known as British Bulldog, and Dynamite Kid, who are managed by Lou Albano and half Ozzy Osbourne, the recorder, for no apparent reason. Was better than the other celebrities on there.
Yeah.
Even
like the words, the beef lady.
You're right.
Who didn't do anything. You just sat there and swung the microphone over her head.
You're really pissing at her, aren't you?
She may be the worst one. But at least I remember. Actually, she may not be, because at least I remember her.
Kathy Lee Crosby.
There you go.
Even Guerrero doesn't seem to know why he's out there. Smith and Valentine start face off with Davey cracking on the arm. Is quickly off to Dynamite as things speed up, including a big shoulder to knock Valentine in the corner. Gray comes back with a suplex, but Smith comes to scare Valentine out to the floor. Back in Valentine, okay. Gets that headbutt to the ribs and ties up BK for the first time. BK is cleared press lane, is back to Dynamite for a hard clothesline. Brutus finally drags Davey off to the corner, makes a tackle to Greg, who comes off the top of the form to the back. That's some good heel tagging work, and it's successful, as always. Dynamite comes in anyway, though. It's time for some hard forearms and shoulders in the corner, and backbreakers to Valentine and Bruce having to make the save. It's not ultimately to see a tag match stay even this long. But this was before the Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express had created the classic tag team formula that is still in use today.
Yeah.
Valentine comes back with a pile driver where he picked him up for a traditional version, but he kneeled forward like a tombstone. For two, he crushes himself on the kid's knees. Everyone breaks down, and the power slam planks Valentine for two. Davey misses a charge to the post out, and the champ starting on the arm. A hammerlock slam and top rope elbow on the shoulder have Davey in any more trouble, and Valentine gets two with a shoulder breaker. For some reason, he pulls Smith up at two, and Oakland thinks he's going to come back along. As he says, his Dynamite gets on the middle rope and sticks his head out. Smith rams Valentine head first into Kid's head, knocking Dynamite down to the floor in a very hard spot, by the way. Mm-hmm. But knocking Greg out cold for the pin and the titles at 12:03.
Had this match been on any better of a WrestleMania, it'd probably be around the middle of the card.
Oh,
tonight's match of the night.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if it was like it was good, but I don't think it was necessarily great.
Right.
But it's miles ahead of anything else going on that night.
Yeah.
It was probably more like you're really good, especially in the era. You're very good tag team match to close the house show off.
Yeah.
Which they did back then. But yeah, unfortunately, this didn't close off the night.
Match of the night by far here. And with Dynamite taking one heck of a bump to end the match. The Bulldogs were a great team, and they definitely deserved the titles, and they did, and tie match went completely against the common tag team formula. Unfortunately, I felt like it was just more about a way to get Osborne on screen, which is only going to get worse.
And ended giving it a B.
B. Albano and Osborne celebrates the Bulldogs' remember one point after one. Kid can't talk or say, he's still recovering from having been knocked off the middle rope. And down to forward, no one catch him. That's a scary bump, and it's just a shot that his body gave out on him. Soon after this, because he's currently powerless.
Yeah.
Fortunately. Vince and Susan talk about the title change and preview the main event. The Los Angeles announcers, Jesse Ventura, Elvira, and Lori Alfred Hayes, preview their section of the card.
Yep.
What really hurts this group is there's no play-by-play. I believe Lori Alfred did the play-by-play.
Yeah.
But there's no play-by-play there. No usual. Lori Alfred was on the color table with Jesse. Hercules Hernandez versus Ricky Steamboat. Hernandez is better known simply as Hercules. And as a big power guy, you will expect. Hercules jumps in and Eisenhower. Ricky comes out with a big chop. It's time for the arm drives at Steamboat. And he cranks on the armbar as it's his custom back up and elbow to Joel drops Hercules and ulted arm again. Hercules finally realizes that his name is Hercules and clotheslines Ricky's head off before driving some harness into the side of the head. There's a stun gun for no cover. Elvira is proven to be the most worthless commentator of all time, as she just babbles about how she's never seen anything like this before. Hercules returns to the...
It's kind of the same reaction all three women have had during their first match. I've never seen anything like this before.
Except for Susan St. James. This was her first ever WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
The main event of her show.
Actually, no, I think that was the...
Crosby.
That was the middle one.
That's what she's known for. It was the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
That's all.
This is the first wrestling match I've ever seen. It's the last one she would do that night. So, she literally had to sit through like 5 other ones.
Hercules returns back to the elbow. The Joel and grill presses Ricky twice in a row. Ricky raises his knees to stop a top rope splash way off character for Hercules. And finishes with a high cross body at 7:34.
I don't think it was a good match,
Right.
but call it Stockholm Syndrome, where I'm
Picking the best.
I'm falling in love with my captor.
The best wrestlers are getting the D's.
I actually did a little bit more. I didn't think it was that bad with the action all given. I've definitely seen worse tonight, and why not? I'll be next.
This is your standard versus power speed match, which could have been worse, but still wasn't anything worth seeing. Hercules was...
That is true, by the way.
Hercules was a one-dimensional wrestler which made him a good foil for someone like Steamboat, who could mix up his offense with the fair and whatever on the power.
Also true.
It's a fine match, but really nothing out of the ordinary.
I ended giving it a C-.
F. Because that last line is a fine match, but nothing out of the ordinary. On WrestleMania. On this WrestleMania, D+. On D... You know what? D+. For trying. Uncle Elmer versus Adrian Adonis. This will go well.
I think my Stockholm Syndrome fell apart now.
Adonis is a flamboyant guy in a pink dress and makeup, while Elmer is a 400-pound plus hillbilly. They're not exactly go with the highbrow ideas here.
Nope.
Elmer attacks the star and sends Adrian to forward with a single forearm. Adrian versus the ring skirt off and manager Jimmy Hart by himself. Elmer pulls Adonis' apron and starts ripping off the dress. You knew they were going here eventually. A big punch to Elmer's chest puts him down, and Adrian takes off the dress to reveal regular trunks.
Sorry, I was just checking the rest of my grids because my battery's dying.
Elmer comes back with a core splash, but he misses a leg drop, allowing Adonis to drop a top rope headbutt splash for a pin at 3:04.
Yeah, just barely gradable.
Oh, for sure.
And it was absolutely horrible.
This is the kind of stuff I can't stand in wrestling. Adonis and Elmer are two of the most basic, stereotypical characters they could put together, and look stupid. This catered to the lowest common denominator, and that's never the kind of wrestling I want to have. It does up that the match is awful.
F.
Adonis puts a bow on Elmer's back.
That was nice to have.
Hogan is ready to step inside the cage with King Kong Bundy after Bundy damaged his ribs a few months ago. All Hogan lost is for Bobby Heenan to try to get involved. Funk Brothers versus Junkyard Dog and Tio Santana. The Funks are Terry / Huss, Paradise Dory Funk Jr., and their match at Jimmy Hart. Dog and Haas get things going, but Terry's quickly dragging inside so Dog can slam both brothers. Things sell down to Tio versus Terry, but both Funks quickly drop out to the floor. Back in then as Dog ramming Terry's face into the buckle several times as this has been one side so far. It resulted Dory versus Tio with the Funks on taking over, but Tio goes out with a 5-4-2. Terry says it on the floor from some stomps from Hart, and Elvira rants about how Hart needs to be ejected, sounding like someone who has never watched wrestling in her life. Back in the Tio reverses a suplex into the wall of his own as Elvira wants some trunks ripped off.
Yeah.
Terry misses a leg drop and resulted the Dog for more headbutts. House is clean. Terry just back drop over the rope, and Dog slams on the table and busts up Terry's leg. Aaron breaks down and Terry places Dog in the head with the megaphone for the pin at 11:43.
Yeah, probably the next best match of the night. I wouldn't necessarily consider it close to
Anything.
Dream Team and the Bulldogs, but after tonight, literally, if you decide to put in a little bit of effort, I'm probably going to give you the moon. So,
fun match here. Well, the Funks work very well together against the always entertaining Tio and the always charismatic Dog. As soon as they were set, the Funks up as a potential challenge to the Bulldogs, but they won't be around long. This was a nice time match, one of the best things on the card.
I gave it a C+.
Be nice. On the next WrestleMania 2 Part 2. I can't believe we have to try this.
I know, we have to. This terrible card.
See you then.
See you then.